It's called Comedic Confessions.
When I was in the first grade, I went to a sleepover with my friend and pooped my pants.
No way. I was with a group of friends in high school, and they really wanted to sneak onto this soccer field. This terrified me. And on the way there, I call the cops. And I tell them, I was like, hey, I think somebody's trespassing
No way.
on this.
I'm Cody Troutman, and this is my podcast, The Cody Trout Pod.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cody Trout Pod. Yeah. Oh, the studio audience.
Yeah.
Caleb doing some light reading.
696 home runs, guys. This magazine is called Details. And the cover says, The Curious Case of the Gay Porn Star Identical Twins. But this is not it. This is just Alex Rodriguez looking in the mirror. This is totally separate. I haven't even found the gay porn star one yet.
Folks, this episode is a special episode, not only because Caleb McCurry's back. Woo, we got Caleb back. That's huge. But because I am launching my own live show, which is exciting and nerve-wracking. I've been working on it for a few months now, well, even longer than that on the concept. It's called Comedic Confessions. Caleb is going to be one of the comedians on the panel, so I wanted to have him here today so we could talk about the show, tell you what it's going to be like, and then have our own confessions. So the show format, it's called Comedic Confessions. Basically, the comics on the show go first. They do a confession, and we do like a little live podcast interview with them about their confession. Then it's the audience's turn. How it works is when you get to the venue, you can submit a story. It can be your wildest story, your craziest story. It can be an embarrassing moment. It can be a dating disaster, a horrible hookup, a childhood cringe, a secret to confess. It can be anything. You submit your story anonymously. During the show, I draw one of these stories. I read it out loud. And if the audience says, ooh, that's juicy, we want to hear more, I say, all right, whoever wrote this, identify yourself.
When they submit their story, does it have to be the entire story, or can it be like a preface and then they go describe it?
That is a great question. I'm so glad you asked. We want it to just be the headline of the story. So when you get to the venue, we're looking for one sentence or less as a submission.
Don't bury the lead.
So like an example story submission would be like, I wrecked my dad's car and blamed it on my sister. It's like, that's one sentence, that's juicy. Or like...
I killed that lady on the Capitol.
Yes, I would call you up on stage. That's a great story. Yeah. Or I committed tax fraud this year. I have details. That's another good one. So if your story gets drawn, you get to come on stage. We put 5 minutes on the clock, and you do a live podcast with me and the other comedians on the panel. We got Hamza Chaudhry and Lynn Kay coming in. It's going to be a hot show. It's June 20th, 7 p.m. at Ultraviolet in downtown OKC. Go to comedicconfessions.eventbrite.com to get tickets, or on my Instagram, Facebook, or just message me, or just show up the night of and buy a ticket at the door. Yeah,
can they do future tense? Like, I bought tickets to the show and I am an active shooter.
Yeah, I think that's another great confession. If I pull a card out that says, I'm going to a live podcast comedy show tonight, I brought a gun and 40 bullets. I'd be like, come on stage. Whoa, that's a hot one. Nice. So that's the show. And then at the end, we're going to do probably like 6 audience confessions. 6 people will get drawn. At the end, the comedian panelists will pick their 2 favorites, and then the audience chooses which one of those is story of the night. They win cash. They win prizes. It's going to be sick. Comedic Confessions, June 20th. Get your tickets. How's that description?
That's good.
Too long? Should I cut some of that out?
No, that was really good.
That was good. You had great questions. When you submit a story, and we'll have this on the sign, just the headline of the story. Well, you tease it. We want enough to pique our curiosity, but we don't want to bust too early. You know what they say. That's what I do.
I still have to pick a story.
That's true.
I thought it'd be really easy, but then you were asking me stories about your promo today, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. Maybe I'll do that." So I need to really think about it.
And and I'll have like prompts at the venue to like jog your memory. And I was just showing Caleb some of these prompts. It doesn't have to be one of those prompts. It can be literally anything, but that's just like if you don't have any ideas. So, because I'm asking other people to confess and tell a story, an embarrassing story, I thought that I would tell some of my own today in front of my dear friend Caleb. And Caleb might even share some of his own if he decides to get vulnerable. But these might be funny stories, and these are the kind of stories that, who knows, maybe might get submitted. So, I have a story prepared if you'd like to hear it.
I want to hear it.
I know I'm doing a lot of talking up front, but I promise.
No, you can do it. You can do it.
The bantering portion. So, and I'll go first. So it's like I'm opening the floor of vulnerability. When I was in 3rd grade, I had a huge crush on this girl in my class. So I went to Claire's and I bought her a bracelet that says, "I believe." And I was going to give it to her.
Like Lance Armstrong? Or is that something else?
No, his was Live Strong. But that bracelet style was so popular when I was in that all these other brands were like making knockoff versions of it. And Claire's was like a pink one that said, "I believe."
Wow.
So I got this for this girl and I wrapped it and I wrote her a card. I was going to give it to her and I said, "I believe in us." That's what I was going to say to her. And that day she found out that I had a crush on her. So she took me aside in the hallway and she was like, "Hey, just so you know, I don't like you like that."
Whoa.
She was like, "Just so you know, like I think you're weird. Like thanks for," she's like, "Thanks for helping me with like my multiplication tables, but I don't want to like spend time together." And so this is where it gets worse. The gift I had, I gave it to her anyways. And I said, "Hey, I believed in us, but I guess you didn't."
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
3rd grade me thought that was like some baller shit, but I look back and I'm horrified.
You should have been like, Lance Armstrong had like a 2% chance of living. You don't think you could love me? He thought he was going to die. And he won the Tour de France multiple times.
Yeah.
It's like, didn't he cheat? You're like, that doesn't matter. You survived that and he won.
Cheating never matters in a relationship. I don't know why you're even bringing that up. So, any comments on my story? What should I have done differently with this woman?
That's not that bad, honestly. You went out there. She's probably like thinking about that today. She's probably like dated a bunch of douchebags. She's like, "Man, that Cody guy gave me a bracelet.
Yeah,
said I believe in us."
Yeah. She
probably OD'd on Oxycontin, if you think about it.
That's a good
and
riff.
You showed her, compassion.
That's why I brought you on the panel.
She's probably living in Lawton right now.
She's probably married to Andrew Patterson.
Yeah, to Andrew Patterson. Yeah.
How funny would it be if we were just joking around? I looked it up and she had really OD'd on Oxy and died. And then I found the mortuary photos and she's wearing the bracelet.
Whoa. Nice.
That would be epic.
Nice.
All right. Do you have a story you want to share? Or just, let's see. You got
when I was in the 1st grade, I went to a sleepover with my friend.
Nice.
And pooped my pants.
No way.
And I didn't know about what a laundry chute was. I didn't know what that was.
Wait, I might not know what that is either. Is that where it's like a little door in the wall? And you put laundry in it?
It's for 2-story houses.
Okay.
I didn't live in a 2-story house at the time. I didn't know what that was. But like I was just looking for places to hide my poopy pants.
Oh no.
And it was the laundry chute. But I just opened a cabinet and there's just a hole in the ground. And I was like, man, this is perfect. This is going nowhere.
Oh.
So I threw it down there and then I went home the next day like, hey, we found some poopy underwear. I was like, yeah, that's not mine. That's not mine. I don't know what you're talking about.
Caleb McCurry's written in the tag in the back.
It's like, no, you can ask Harrison. You can ask him.
I just imagine 1st grade you, like you've just shit your pants at a sleepover, like your soul crush. You're like, oh, this is it for me.
And I found the laundry chute.
And then you find this hole, and you're like, oh my god, the lottery.
I thought it was like in the Incredibles when she's like throwing away trash, it's like fire. It was like, yeah, this is gonna disappear forever. No, that was poopy pants or poopy underwear.
So when you went home, did their parents called your parents?
Yeah. My mom was like, they found dirty underwear, and I was like, Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
You're like, I was at the Laugh Factory doing a set.
I'm in the first grade. I'm not in pre-K.
Did you really like lie about it and say, no, it wasn't me?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, well, so did they believe you? What happened?
No, so my mom talked with her for longer, and she's like, "Are you sure?" And then I started crying.
And so they found out it was you.
Yeah, they found out it was me. Yeah, then I started crying.
And this was yesterday?
Yeah, this was at Dace's house.
This was this morning.
After we recorded a podcast, they're like, "We found poopy pants."
You're like,
yeah, dude.
Here's what's funny is that, like when you shit your pants, the story is like so embarrassing. Here's one thing I've learned in the short research I've done for this show, asking people, like tonight at the mics, asking people for confessions. Everybody has a story about how they shit their pants. It's like one of the most universal experiences. I myself have shit my pants.
I haven't done it as an adult yet.
Oh, yeah, you're better than I. I did it once.
I haven't done it as an adult, which, it'll happen.
Yeah, that's true. Like, if you have to do it as an adult, do you want to are you waiting until you're like an old man and it's just fine? Or are you trying to get it out of the way?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
We could give you laxatives at the show and just kind of see what happens.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Now it's a good show.
Shit myself. I mean, if I just shit myself, I would just go home. I wouldn't wait to get roasted by Hamza and Lin K. Why would I stick around for that?
My God, can you imagine, like, during the middle of somebody's story from the other end of the panel, you're like, yo, hold up, some shit stank.
Then Hamza would go back to New York and tell everyone.
He'd be like, yo, there's a comic in OKC.
He's going to be here at some point.
He don't give a fuck.
Pooped his pants.
I just imagine during the show, because you said you would just leave. Am I like somebody's in the middle of a story and you just go,
yeah, I would.
You just get up and walk, just waddling out.
I would just go.
I would know what was happening, but I would have your back and be like, guys, Caleb just got a booty call. When in reality, your booty is calling.
That's why he was walking like that. It was like he was excited.
Yeah, he's got like an enormous boner in his pants.
Yeah.
And she's right outside to pick him up.
His boner is behind him. That's why he was holding it like this.
Dude, somebody told the story tonight. So many people tonight, when I was asking for confessions, told me a story of them shitting themselves. I forgot who it was, but somebody said they shit themselves. I think it was Austin. He told me a story about how he shit himself and he was wearing shorts. So it was like falling out the bottom of his shorts and he was like scraping it up his hamstrings, like trying to stuff it back into his shorts to keep it together.
Disgusting human being.
Oh, okay. So this is me as an adult. I have shit myself. So what happened was I later found out that I had COVID, which I didn't know had like stomach symptoms. So I didn't suspect it. This is just like a few years ago. And I didn't feel great, but I had a date with this girl that I'd been really trying to get a date with. And I was like, oh man, I don't care. I'm going. I don't feel good. And I'm driving. I think I have to run to the store for something because we were doing like some outdoor activity. And on the way to the store, I'm like, dude, I am not doing good. And I'm at the stoplight, like a half mile away from the store. And I'm just like, my stomach's about to, so I'm like, I have to fart so bad. I open my asshole 1 millimeter and liquid shit rockets out. And because I'm sitting down, it just rockets down my balls, like all over my leg. I was like, oh God, oh no, please.
Did you go on the date?
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. No,
damn.
No. I remember I called this girl because she had actually canceled on me previously. So I was like, oh, this is my chance. But then I had to call and be like, listen, I'm just like not feeling good. And she's like, oh, we'll be outside. It's cool. I'm like, no. You don't understand. I'm like, not feeling good. But then we later did end up going on a date finally. And I did shit myself on that as well. But
did you really?
No.
Oh,
that
damn.
would be so funny if I did. No, but I really, and I told her about it eventually. I was like, yeah. I remember when I canceled because I was like not feeling well. I actually had shit on my testicles. God, that's funny. All right, let me think of another. I'll think of another good confession. Okay, I have one. This is like kind of bad. I still feel really bad for this, but nothing bad ever happened from it, so it's okay to tell now. One time, I was with a group of friends in high school, and they really wanted to sneak onto this soccer field and play soccer. And I was like really sheltered growing up, so this terrified me. I was like, we can't trespass. So I'm not going to do it. Like, I've already decided, I'm like, I can't do this. But I don't want to like bitch out and sit next to the fence while they're all playing soccer. It's like 11 p.m. It's not even that bad. So I say I'm going to drive my own car. And on the way there, I call the cops. And I tell them, I was like, hey, I think somebody's trespassing on this playground. Because there was a playground next to it.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I call the cops to the playground next to it, the cops will pull up. We'll have time to get away. And like, nobody will want to do this anymore. So we get there, and a cop car is in the parking lot of the playground. And they're like looking around with their flashlights, and everybody's like, whoa, like the spot is blown. We can't do this. And I was like, oh, fuck, damn. Like, I wanted to kick that ball around. And I remember I was like, whew.
God damn.
I know. I felt so bad.
How old were you?
16.
Did they ever find out that you called the cops?
No, I never said a word. I was so embarrassed that I did that. I just was like, everybody was all like, oh, I can't believe it. And I was like, yeah, dude, that's crazy. Like, I think we should still fucking do it. You know, you pussies don't, I want to do it. But no, I was terrified to break the rules. So I just called the cops. And I remember, this is so bad. I remember I didn't want them to know. I did not know that like the police just had your number, like when you called in. I think they have all your information, but I was like, hello, I live in the neighborhood.
Damn.
I tried to make my voice sound like it was bad. I'm kind of getting embarrassed talking about it. It's so brutal.
Wow.
I know, total bitch move.
Wow. Damn. When did you not get sheltered? When were you not sheltered anymore?
I feel like I still am. Like, I'm still afraid to break rules. I just kind of avoid situations that now I'm like smarter about it. Now I think I'm like way more comfortable being like, I'm not going to do that.
Damn. I've only called the cops once.
Yeah? What was it for?
Remember when I almost got mugged?
No. When was that?
I was driving to work and some guy, I've talked about it on stage, not anymore because I never made it work, but like he jumped.
I do remember that. Yeah, tell this story. This is great.
Jumped in front of my car on the way to work, and I could see him like walking down the street, and he has like a handle of something, and he just like throws it down and like shatters. And I was like, what the fuck? And then he like gets in the way of me, so I can't go around. It's on Oklahoma Avenue in downtown, so it's like a narrow road. He just gets in front, so I have to stop, and he said, give me your money.
Fuck.
And then I said, I don't have any cash. And he said, then give me your life.
Oh, that's real?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a real story.
I thought you just made that.
No,
that
that's a real story.
Damn.
That's the only time I ever called the cops.
Well, yeah. So he's right in front of your car. He says, give me your life. What do you do in the immediate?
He walks around to go to the driver's side, and I just sped off.
Holy shit.
Dude. Which is, all my friends were like, you should have just ran him over. And I'm like,
that's
I don't
crazy.
want to fucking run someone over on the way to work.
Yeah.
That's not like a normal thing to do.
I feel like you did the right thing. Like, you got out of there. Mm-hmm. Because if you run this guy over, you're going to have to prove that your life was in danger.
Yeah.
And if he's unarmed, you're probably just going to go to jail.
Yeah. Probably going to get in trouble.
Yeah, you're probably going to jail.
God. That's the only time I ever called the cops.
Damn. Yeah, that's a fair cop call. I just remembered another time. This isn't a time I called the cops, but you were asking like, when did I become unsheltered? And I said, I think I just got better at like saying no. I was 17 at this story. There's like about a little less than a year after the soccer field cop call incident. Same group of friends, smaller, but still the same people. And they've set me up on a triple date. I was not exactly a ladies' man.
Triple date.
And so it was one guy and another girl, another guy and another girl that liked him, and they just like brought their fat friend for me. No, actually she was really cute. I just wanted to make a joke. And so they were like, dude, we got this girlfriend. I was like, oh shit. And they're like, we're gonna go see it was one of the Paranormal Activity movies in theaters. And I was scared of scary movies. And I was like, guys, I can't do that. But I didn't drive my own car, so I'm just riding
Those
with
movies are fucking scary. Those movies are really scary.
Now they're fun scary. Like, they are scary, but I like them now.
No, they still scare me.
And so we get to the movie theater, and everybody buys their tickets. And I buy a ticket. And I walk in, and like they're walking in the theater. I was like, guys, I can't do it. And the girls are looking at me like, what? And my best friend is like, oh, let's go grab a snack. We'll meet y'all in there. And so we walk over to the snack counter, and he's like, brother, what's going on?
What's going on?
He's like, what are you doing? What are you trying to do? And I was like, dude, I can't see this movie. And he was like, do you realize, he says, I don't want to be here. Our other friend doesn't want to be here. We don't like these girls. We don't even like them that much, but we did this for you. And I was like, why did you do it for me? They're like, because you're like a little bitch. You don't talk to women. We are setting you up in a golden scenario. This woman has a crush on you.
So you can see any other movie.
I know. And I told him, I said, dude, I can't do it. And so I went and saw the Three Musketeers, and they all watched Paranormal Activity.
Wow. By yourself?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was humiliating.
God. Would you watch those movies now?
The Paranormal Activity?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I would watch them now.
Those movies are scary, man.
They are like pretty good. My favorite scary movie is Insidious 2.
I haven't seen the second one. Dang.
But yeah, I remember that was pretty humiliating. But my best friend thought it was really funny. Like, that was what was great, is he would give me shit, but he would also he's like, well, you're still my best friend. It's just really funny.
Yeah, you saw the Three Musketeers.
Yeah, I did. I just stayed a weekend with him.
With Logan Lerman.
Yes, that was the one. Dude, yeah, you're a movie buff. You probably have a letterboxd about that movie.
I haven't seen it, but I know he's in it.
It's not great. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's not great.
No, I get that. I've seen movies with people where like I'd watch like not even like a scary movie, but like there'd be a scary scene and they'd be like damn, chill, man. Just breathe.
Oh man. Have you ever seen I don't know if this is like discriminatory. Have you ever seen a scary movie at Tinseltown? There's a certain demographic of audience that gets real into scary movies, and that is the best movie going experience.
Oh shit.
Oh hell no. It's the fucking best. Oh man. It's so funny. Do you have any other stories you want to share?
Any other stories?
Maybe a time you sought petty revenge on a foe. Maybe a time at work when you blamed a mistake on someone else.
When I was like really young.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Like probably like kindergarten or something. And like there were like some family friends. They had kids and we'd go play. And there was this one girl. And we were like doing like role playing or something.
Nice.
And
you be the dominatrix, I'll be the son.
Something like that, apparently. But like we were like, I don't know. I can't remember the exact story we were like playing out, but like, you know when like kids are sometimes like, hey, let's pretend to be boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yes.
This one girl was like, you pretend to be my boyfriend, I'm your girlfriend. I'm like, okay, whatever. And she's like, we should kiss. And I didn't want to. And I was like, oh, like pretend. She's like, no, like for real. Like we should like make it real.
Holy shit.
And my response was, no, I think you're ugly.
Oh my God.
I think you're ugly. I don't want to do that. You're just, and she wasn't at all. I was just like really nervous. Like, no, you're really ugly.
Oh my God.
Like, get away from me.
What did she, when you said that, what happened?
I can't even remember. Probably like just never talk to me again because we didn't really like hang out after that ever again. It's like, dang.
Oh my God.
I was that scared.
Dude, fear does strange things to the body.
It's like, I thought that was the best response.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're gross. Get away from me.
Did she just like walk away or did she cry? Did she have a meltdown?
She got mad at me for sure. I can't remember, but I remember what I said. I was like, dang.
Did you ever tell your parents or anything?
No.
No, you just were like, yeah, I called that bitch ugly.
Yeah.
You called that bitch ugly, walked to your friend's house, shit your pants, threw it in their trash, walked home and said,
Yes.
sorry, bitches.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
That's pretty hardcore.
That is hardcore. I wonder how she's doing.
I actually read that she OD'd on Oxy with,
Oh, man.
with a friend of mine.
That's rough.
God, that's great.
We do that.
I mean, these are the kind of stories that we hope people submit. Just, I think there's something beautiful. I'm not just saying, I think there's something beautiful about sharing an embarrassing story, and people laughing with you, because we can all relate to these moments of like bizarre cringe, especially when we're younger, or like, why did I do this? Why did this happen this way? Why did I make this decision? Here's the ramifications of it. And then everything turned out fine. We're here now. So it's fun to laugh about it. I like that. Getting a little vulnerable, but a little silly at the same time. So that's what the show is, hopefully.
Yeah.
I think it'll be that. You're going to be great on the panel because you ask questions that I could never even conceive of.
Dude, I wonder what we're going to get.
I hope
politicians show up and they say something.
I just hope people show up at all. Man, I mean, I don't know. The venue has high expectations. I was like, listen, I don't think you understand how hard it is to get people to show up to these things.
I bet people will show up, dude.
As long as the audience outnumbers the performers, that's a win.
Yes.
And that's why I booked 700 performers.
Yes.
So we need to sell 701 tickets.
Very nice.
Did you want to tell the story from last night?
Oh, yeah, dude. Where to start? I guess you start with new comic shows up to Othello. He might be at Ultraviolet to tell this story and to explain himself.
That would be awesome.
Which is what he should do.
He really should.
But he's hosting Othello's at last minute because there wasn't a host. And
well,
so
this month
just,
is show up host.
Yeah, show up, go up.
Yeah.
So this guy goes up to host.
An open mic, for context.
And he's just like, all right, let's get the show started. Michael Dunn just like starts calling up names. None of the usual, not even shaking hands.
No, not even shaking hands.
Not
he
even
rejected my handshake.
Yeah, he rejected Dace's fist bump. And after I was watching, I was like, okay, I guess he's not doing that. So he's just calling. So like Michael Dunn would get off. All right, Joel Morrison. Or Joel Morrison wasn't there, but you get the point. He's just calling up names.
For context, how the host is supposed to do it. And you get paid to host. So it's not like, it's comedy. The bar's very low, but there are certain expectations. The host is supposed to introduce what's happening, which is an open mic, introduce themselves, get the crowd to focus and be like, hey, this is what we're doing. And then they do time. Like they do jokes to prime the crowd. And they say, we got a great show for you. Because you're just like, these people aren't expecting much. You're kind of like, hey, we're going to have fun together. Here's your next comic. Yeah. And then you keep it fun. You keep it going. And he just had energy of like, I don't want to be here. This is the worst day of my life.
Yeah. And so then you go up. And what was it you said? Is someone threatening your family? Why are you like this?
Well, because he was so like, if somebody's bad, that's fine. I'm bad at comedy all the time. But he was so like negative and condescending about the whole thing that I just went up there. And so it's like twofold. One, I genuinely want to know like what the hell is going on. Like, because he chose to host. He didn't have to. So one, I want to know what's going on. Two, I have to, like, my job or our job is like you have to acknowledge what's happening in the room as well. So I went up there and I was like, hey, is somebody threatening your family? Why are you doing it? Like, are you being blackmailed? And I like peered around the corner and I didn't he wasn't responding. And so I asked the audience, like, where'd he go? They're like, he's hiding in that corner. And the mic cord was really long. So I just took the mic with me. I went back to the back area and I asked him, I was like, are you okay? What's happening? Why are you doing this? And at this point, I still think it's kind of all like fun and games.
Yeah.
I just didn't. And he just stares at me with a straight face like. And at this point, I was like, oh, I don't know if he's fucking around or not. And so for 30 seconds, we just sit there and sigh. It was like a long time. It was probably like 20 seconds. And then I was like, folks, he's a riff master.
He's a riff master.
I gotta tell you. So then I go back on stage and I'm like, I think somebody kidnapped his grandma. Like, that's the only way. So I riff on that. And then at the end of my set, I was like, you're supposed to get a light at 1 minute. So he flashes the light, and I'm like, yeah, I see the light. And then he keeps flashing. I was like, yeah, I see it. I was like, is it over? What? And I was like, are we not doing the 1 minute light anymore? And he's like, no.
Yeah, you just get off.
I was like, all right, he makes the rules. I was like, folks, I have his grandma tied up in my basement. I got to go feed her. See you later.
Did you check and see how much time he did?
How much time he did?
How much time you did?
Oh.
When did he light you? Because we're doing 3-minute sets.
Yeah, I think I did 2.5 minutes. So it wasn't that far off. But I think he did want me to get off the stage. Yeah. And so then after the set, at this point, I still, like, that was my first real indication, like, oh, I don't think that went good. Like, I don't think he appreciated that.
Yeah.
Because usually, like, you know, my expectation is that if you're, like, riffing with the host, they get the last laugh because they get to go back up after you.
Yeah.
Like, they're, like, so for me, it was, I'm not really even insulting him. I'm just kind of being like, this is weird. Yeah. I don't want him to feel bad, but I have to acknowledge what the audience is thinking of, like, what's happening.
Yeah.
So in my head, he was going to then go up and, like, roast me a little bit, and it was me fine. And I was going to talk to him. So I hung out by the side of the stage to, like, talk to him. And he just goes up, says nothing, is like, next comic. Then he comes back over, and I'm like, and he just, like, won't look at me. And I was like, dude, are you okay? And he won't look at me. And I was like, what happened? Like, I was like, this is supposed to be fun. Do you want to be here? I was like, we actually want to be here. I'm so confused. And I was like, how about we start over? My name's Cody. And he goes, I don't shake hands with people like you. And this is when I knew. I was like, oh,
that's when he got racist.
I was like, he's not happy. So then I was like, people like me. He's like, you know what your problem is? And this is when I was telling you the story. This is when you fucking lost it. He said, you know what your problem is? You're insincere.
Insincere.
Which is a great insult, actually.
You're insincere.
That is I can see you using that in the future. Being like, you know
what
your problem is?
You're insincere.
You're insincere. And I said, so I was kind of just like messing around. I was like, okay, what should I do to fix that? He's like, you need to pray.
You need to pray is the closer.
And which I was still hoping. I was like, I think he's doing a bit, and this is really funny. But then I was like, all right, man, I'm getting out of here. And I stuck out my hand again, and he wouldn't shake it. And I was like, okay. And then the best part is he left.
He left.
Didn't even finish hosting. He just left.
He could have got $25.
Yeah. So we had to find a new host in the middle of the night. It was just strange.
Him hosting was kind of my fault because Adrian went ahead and ordered a pizza, which is usually for the host to order.
Yeah.
And Gabe brought it out, and he said, all right, pizza for everyone. I was like, oh, shit, like, who's hosting? And he's like, oh, there's no host yet. This was just already ordered by Adrian.
Oh.
And then that guy was like, I can host. Like, in the corner of the room, he's like, I can host. And I was like, you want to host? And he's like, he didn't say anything. And I was like, well, if you want to host, you get free food and money. And he doesn't say anything. And he just like goes and walks to the corner. And so Adrian's like about to make the list, and he was asking people to host. I was like, that guy said he wanted to host. And so he walks over, and then he became the host.
I respect him for like being like, hey, I want to host.
Yeah.
I think that was the confusing part is I was like, I like he's new.
Yeah.
New, like he clearly wants to do it, but I didn't know. I don't know. I probably could have handled it better and like started off night, but I was just trying to do my set.
Yeah.
I didn't think that he would get upset. I do feel bad. I hope he comes back to another mic. I'm going to walk right up to him. I'm going to stick up my hand and be like, hey, I'm Cody. I know last time it was weird between us, but I want you to feel welcome at these mics. If you don't like me, that's fine, but I want you to know that these mics are for everybody.
You know what you say? You
What?
say that's insincere.
Oh, he would. Oh, dude, that's so funny.
That's insincere. I don't shake hands with people like you.
God, that is a weird. I'm even. You know what's funny is I'm hesitant to include this story in the podcast because what if he has a gun and shoots me?
Well, that's not a good. Like, if you go to a function,
Yeah.
and everyone's thinking, "Oh man, this guy might do something dangerous," it's probably your fault.
Like my fault for thinking that, or the person's fault for
The person's fault for
giving that energy.
giving that vibe.
Oh man, yeah. That was, yeah. What a strange night. I do. I remember today, because I was just last night. Today, I said something in the group message, and you responded, "You know what your problem is?
You're insincere.
You're insincere." That's really funny.
Very good.
Oh God,
Very nice.
that's really funny. Did you have any other stories you wanted to share, or did you want to go through your magazine? I know it's late, so I'm trying to keep the episode from.
I don't have any stories.
Ooh, let me ask you this: what in the show Comedic Confessions? You're one of the panelists, as we mentioned. What are you most looking forward to, and what are you most afraid of happening?
I'm looking forward to seeing Hamza.
Yes.
Hamza Chowdhury.
Yes, he is the man.
New York comic.
Yeah, we got a New York City comic on the show, folks.
Yeah, New York City comic. And then I'm most afraid...
Shitting your pants?
Shitting my pants.
Sorry.
I mean, that's always a fear.
That is true. That could happen at any time.
I don't know. I can be pretty mean about... Sometimes people aren't good at telling stories.
100%
so
true.
I might get frustrated.
That's why I want you there.
People will like go on stage and they'll be saying stuff and I'll be like, all right, it's either too fast or too slow.
Yeah.
Not enough, or like you need to like wrap it up. And I feel like there might be some oversharers. People who just like really go, like maybe not overshare,
Details
but like
that don't matter.
Details that don't matter.
Mm-hmm. But as a panelist, I encourage you, if they're telling parts of the story that don't matter or they clearly don't get why it's funny, jump in and be like, hey, this doesn't matter. We want to hear about when you punched your aunt. Like, why are you telling us about the weather?
Yeah.
That's why I fully empower you to do that.
Yeah.
And throw in some riffs, some banters. Like, that's what we want the panelists to do. So you have full autonomy.
Yeah. Like if Kyle Rittenhouse shows up and he's like telling us about how he got on these TV shows, and be like, no, I want you to tell me how it felt. I want you to get to the nitty gritty.
That would
I
be
want
so
you to get
funny.
into the nitty gritty. I want you to tell me what was on your mind whenever you pulled that fucking trigger.
Did you really feel threatened, or did you just want to do it?
Were you actually scared, or do you just want to feel something, man?
What made you pull that trigger? Was it fear or arousal?
Or lust? Was it lust?
I hope we do get a murderer at the show.
What if?
Somebody confess.
What would you do?
Like literally or in a funny?
Literally.
Like if I pull a confession, what does it say?
It says, my uncle used to get physical with my mom, his sister, and one night I got really drunk and things escalated and no one ever found out about anything.
Holy shit. So somebody submits a story that says, hey, my uncle was assaulting my mom and I popped him.
Yes.
What would I do? Let me think about it. I mean, if I read that, obviously the audience is going to be like, oh shit. I would be like, okay. I would say, whose story is this? And if you feel comfortable telling it, knowing full well that this is being recorded, I would love to hear it. And we'd get him up there and you would ask him about, what did it feel like?
What did it feel like to take power in your own hands? What did it feel like to spit in God's face? Nice.
Do you remember the first time you ever masturbated?
I don't.
I remember the first time I ever masturbated because I told my mother about it.
It was to David Beckham.
Yeah.
Who played for Manchester United and LA Galaxy and Real Madrid.
Wow. What an illustrious career. I told my mom about it the first time I masturbated. Right after.
And she said,
prove it. No, I'm just kidding.
Prove it.
No, she was just like, wow, that's really nice, honey. Those are usually things we keep to ourselves. I applaud you for exploring your body. There are right and wrong ways to do that, but I think you should keep that to yourself and just know that that's something to do in moderation, in a respectful way. Don't abuse it. Don't abuse that cock, son. Don't you be beating that dick too hard.
Wow.
But yeah, my mom handled it great. And years later, I was like, why the fuck did I tell my mom?
You're scared.
I was terrified. I was like, Mom, I've just shit my pants.
I bet there was like a part of you that was like, I need to tell my mom so she can like turn me into the police.
Yeah, I do remember. This is so bad. But I was like still very small. Like I hadn't hit full puberty. My dick wasn't very big, so I just masturbated like this with like my 3 fingers.
This was yesterday.
Yeah, this was yesterday. I just with my pinky and my thumb. I was like,
nice.
That's good. Yeah. Do you remember the most recent time you masturbated?
Probably a few days ago.
Whoa, a few days ago. Nice.
The Lonely Island.
Yeah. Does it say the year that magazine's from on there?
2009.
Wow, 2009. It's in immaculate condition for its advanced age.
The gay porn star identical twins.
You found them. Oh my gosh.
You already knew it was there.
Yeah,
you already knew.
That's why that page is sticky. That is, I mean, that's kind of bad. Not the gay part, but they're twins. That's wrong, right?
Talion and Kayon Goffney's mug shots after an alleged burglary in Philadelphia. Jeez. It was Philadelphia, born and raised.
Damn. Well, you got any further comments on the show? Hopes, aspirations?
I'm really excited. I bet it's going to be great.
I hope so too. I think it has the potential to be really fun or a total train wreck. But either way, we will be there. We will give it our best shot.
I invited Brad Martin.
Yeah? Okay.
My friend Brad Martin, and he can bring his girlfriend, Savea.
Wow.
Fox. I think her last name's Fox.
F-U-X?
Yeah. Savea Fox. And Bradley Farton.
Cool. Well, thank you. Well, there's 2 people. Now we just got to sell a bunch more tickets. I'm excited you're on it. I'm excited Humza's on it. I think you, Humza, and Lynn K will make a great comedian panel. I just hope we get enough submissions, and I hope I do a good enough job hosting. I'm kind of trying to figure out the exact logistics of it, but it's on June 20th, 7 p.m. at Ultraviolet, comedicconfessions.eventbrite.com. Get tickets, or just message me. I'll send you the link. We'll get it all figured out.
It'll be awesome.
Caleb, thanks for coming on today.
It's going to be awesome.
I appreciate that. It is going to be awesome. Fist bump. Thanks for coming on today. Folks, that's it for this week. We'll see you next week, and we hope to see you at Comedic Confessions, the live show presented by the Cody Trout Pod. Thank you.
Hey, Rod.